books. Can't escape from the team, called the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Friday, February 21st. And it's a big day over here at the Sports Money Network. The boys are headed to Niagara Falls tonight to support our man, Kevin Carrier, in his LFA fight under the sponsorship banner of Sports Money. We make it sound all fancy. It's really just Mike and Jeff met a great family and they were looking to get involved in something like this in support of a young athlete. It's about time for Kevin, his moment tonight in action in LFA. And we're going to find a way to join you here on the network today with a companion stream, at least for Carrier's fight, and just go over the coverage. Not so much betting show, just want to support our man and the guys up there with the family as they go in this big moment, right? You got a fighter 1-0 in his LFA career, 3-0 in his professional career, 32-year-old, really at the cusp of the moment. If he wants to get it and fill his dreams, now is the time. And the guys will be there tonight. So just want to support them and have a great fight. Our man is a minus 750, I believe, right now at Bet Online to win. I'll check today and see maybe right now what the current line was at. But there was actually a little bit of a move on his opponent there. But look, I mean, minus 800 is what we saw the line. It opened 400, went to 800. So our man is expected to get it done. He's down to minus 700 right now. So maybe there's a little bit of flyers out there, a little bit on the dog, but we'll be by tonight just to cover it a little bit, and the guys will get some great content as well. It's kind of our featured event here tonight for sure, even though we do have nice NBA action, college basketball as well, off of the great night last night with the guys watching Canada win over the United States at the Four Nations Cup. Truly a great event, whether you were on the winning side or not. Yeah, we were homering it up a little bit. I thought they might have been the value side, if you will, in the game, right? The U.S. was the home team. I would think in an international one game, they would be a greater favorite, but the game was as close as the odds. And Canada with a great goal there. McDavid, the wrister, 8 minutes into overtime. Felt like we could have been there all night, and we wouldn't have minded going late into the night with a couple of overtimes with the great action, just back and forth, nonstop. Couldn't keep your eyes off of it. If you saw me watching it, it's no fluke or phony. They're really captivating action last night. Also, Binnington came up big, no doubt about it, with those overtime saves. Connor Hellebuck, maybe never a big game worthy just yet. Missed those top shelf goals that definitely got over the shoulder there. Brady Tkachuk and Jake Sanderson with those goals for the United States. Nate McKinnon, Sam Bennett for Canada. great game. Enjoyed being with the guys last night for that historic event. Yeah, I'll probably remember it into my golden years because it was such a fun deal and a big deal. And you know what? It may never be that good again, right? You would think that eh, I'm sure that they will try to do more four nations or five nations, as I like to call it. But uh, felt like that first time charm, you know. Next year's the Olympic break, so they'll have Olympic hockey for the month in between during the season, and then they'll probably try it again in a couple of years. So maybe it still will be fresh. Maybe something will happen at the Olympics that'll keep the rivalries alive at the nations. Event, no matter how many teams we end up with in the future. So, great time last night with the guys. Say hello to some folks in the chat. Thank you for joining me here on the Morning Steam Show today and see who is here for us today to make the picks. Joe W. here. Thomas Lewis Action Jackson's got that Rocket Red countdown finger one, number one. Ooh, I think I know what that looks like. And let's see who else is in with us. Nick Handy here today. And you guys are talking about cold weather. Hopefully it's warming up here. Philly Eagle Flyer, hello. Jermaine's ready for a Friday. Trevor, hello. Thank you for coming in. Also, Toucan, great game. And can Bennington ever have his big moment? Says Toucan. He did, right? You got it right. And let's see here. Irish King, hello. Nice to have you. Blue, la da dee da do da. Bobby Mack here today. Thanks everyone for joining us with the stream last night, whether you're watching us on Kick, where we're breaking new strides every day over there at Kick. If you haven't seen our coverage over there, it's really tremendous. And something I don't know, I feel pretty good about it. And we'll see how good it goes over on Kick. We also joined you on YouTube last night. And we'll be on, like I said, YouTube tonight. We'll just join you. Look for some live companion coverage. We're not totally ready to go on this just yet, but at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific is most likely the time that you're going to get this coverage from Niagara Falls or here. I'll be in Las Vegas. But the event, just to make it clear, tonight. If you want to watch this event, it is on YouTube tonight, live. Now, I'm going to kind of bring it up here and show it. Just the prelims are on. You know, if you have Fight Pass, then you can watch it there too. But probably just this time if our man wins, it feels like to me. But you can watch it tonight. There it is on YouTube. I brought it up here just a little bit. That's just their cover. They have some just touting it a little bit for their main event, but it's over there on YouTube tonight. And this will be live coverage. This is how they run their prelims on YouTube. So you'll be able to watch him live, and we may bring you this stream as well. But if not, no matter what, we're going to have companion coverage, and I'll be watching this fight closely with you guys, hopefully tonight. Those guys will be in Niagara Falls, Mike and Jeff, for that coverage tonight. All right. Go over just a few games here real quick. Didn't have a great day, certainly, yesterday, but we did have a premium pick winner. We had the Boston Celtics today or yesterday over the Philadelphia 76ers to roll despite the trends, and pointed to the Sixers there a little bit back on the old Boston Celtics trends, but you know, we saw through that. Certainly a little bit. Joel Embiid trying to come back here a little bit, but was hampering the team maybe there. Indiana winner here on the Morning Steam Show over Memphis yesterday. We also had the Magic and the Hawks game to go under here on the show. Late night Lakers and Blazers winner here on the show under in that one. College basketball last night. Late night Northridge over Irvine. Their Matadors have won their last 6 with that win. We did have Northridge here on the show last night. So Appalachian State over Georgia Southern, 79-74 in overtime. Monmouth over Hofstra, 68-61 on mid-major Thursday. Also Louisiana over Troy, 72-69. And the game we all had, it felt like consensus winner. I had it. Everybody had USC and Maryland game to go over last night, and did. Easily, it felt like. Premium pick winners we had here with Northeastern. We also had Campbell, North Carolina A&T game under. Idaho and Northern Arizona over. Coastal and Southern Miss game over. Part of the premium pick winners here from my sports money picks over on Winnable. We'll go over today. We had some picks on the extra board as well. So those were okay mixed results. Let's get it tonight and see what you guys like. I'm going to look at several games from college basketball here in just a couple of moments, and also our NBA coverage. Hello to Cliff Floyd. Nice to see you again. And you can get my best picks today over at winnable.com. I'll have picks today in college basketball and, of course, the NBA. We get ready for our weekend coverage as well with UFC. I'll have a package tomorrow. My best plays with finishes, predicted method of finish and round finish with my coverage for UFC Seattle. We also have our coverage here at the Sports Money Network already up on the Sports Money YouTube channel. I'm up with VB MMA picks. We had this week George Gennaro, the Prime Minister of Narrative Nation. Check out our previews of 3 fights, including that main event with Henry Cejudo, underdog against Song Yadong, and a couple of other fights as well. And don't forget, the guys are also in the videos tab with First Strike. They previewed their best bets with Sub, with Fanatical Jim, with Mike, and with Jeff. They got their best plays up on the videos tab with First Strike. So we're ready to roll with UFC Seattle this week on Saturday night. We'll have companion coverage there. The guys are going all out this weekend with MMA coverage here on the Sports Money Network. All right, you get my best plays, including my UFC picks, when you subscribe to my picks over at winnable.com. It's just $4 a day, $8 a week, or $19.95 a month. That's how you support me here on the channel. If you like me coming on here every day, talking sports and sports betting with you, previewing the games, then please consider subscribing to my extra picks that you get here when you subscribe over at Winnable. Okay. Appreciate you listening to that. And there's the address there. It comes up on your screen just like this. You'll find me over there, and that's how you get in touch with me, right there at Winnable. And you can select it via Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit card, whatever. It's processed by Stripe. That's a legitimate payment processing platform used by many companies. It just looks like when I go get my Taco Bell. All right. Appreciate that. The code Winnable save you, code STEAM save you 20% off that Winnable package, and it comes out to about 50 cents a day. So I appreciate you watching me. James Parham, hello. Let's get it going with the show. And it feels like scoreboard is stuck back here, but I don't know. I'd like to have it going here a little bit. So if you don't mind me calling up the scoreboard there, too much of a look at the tennis there a little bit, and you can see what kind of programs I watch, huh? Beast Games and Fleetwood Mac. Sounds like a Friday night with Ramon. All right. Some steam coming in here right now. Let's get one out of the way while we start our NBA previews. I'm getting some steam here right now, seeing that the line is moving with the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings. The steam is coming in on the over. It says here that's what I was going to pick for my pick when we get to that game. So if I can just mention right now, I don't see any reason why I'd change. I'm going over tonight in the game between the Warriors and the Kings, and it is getting steamed right now. It was 2 234. And we are well north of that right now, 235.5 at this point. And let's see here. Billy Mack likes a game today. He likes Brentford in soccer action. Let's look at our Friday fixtures today with Brentford at Leicester. They're favored. Look at this. They're favored by a half a goal at minus 105. Billy Mack says ramp it up. Lay a goal and a half for some big plus money here today in their game at Leicester. Last time they met, it was 4-1. Brentford lit them up. Udinese and Lecce in Serie A, Osasuna and Celta de Vigo in La Liga. A couple games a night in Mexican League, including my Tijuana Xolos on the road at Puebla. Good Tijuana win there tonight as a dog. Also Germany. This afternoon, Bremen and Freiburg, also in France. Stade Reims and Stade Rennes meet. Okay, let's go to the NBA tonight. Get started with our previews. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the Morning Steam. First up, we'll take a look at Grizzlies and Magic in this one. The Grizzlies, a road favorite here. And, man, how about these Grizzlies? Nobody's stopping them. After we saw them yesterday against the Pacers. I don't mean stopping them necessarily in that game, but certainly coming into the game yesterday, Memphis was on a roll, but they ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw yesterday with the Pacers. We had the Pacers here on the show yesterday, and it fell well short of that inflated total for sure. Never really got close to that 250 yesterday. So take a look at this one, though, with the Grizzlies and the Magic here. Widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. It was 223. Now we're looking here at 224 and a half, 225. Yeah, 225 and a half at the sharpest book. So already on the move here to the over with the Grizzlies and the Magic today. See what you guys gonna do in this one with the Grizzlies coming off the loss, as I said, at Indiana. Meanwhile, for Orlando, they certainly were in action yesterday as well and did the job against Atlanta in their return to play. We did go under in that game. There we go. Are we back on the scoreboard? Scoreboard's still malfunctioning back there. We're going to talk to these guys. So bear with me here a little bit. Not that that's going to affect, hopefully, the quality of the show here. All right. For the Grizzlies coming in here, 36-19 currently. Orlando's won 2 straight now, and 28-29 overall coming into this one. The Magic, though, just 8-15 as an underdog against the spread this season. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies 24-11 against the spread. So the Magic, they've definitely been trending down here as they were going into the break. That's what made yesterday's win maybe a little bit surprising, because the Hawks were the team that maybe were playing a little bit better heading into the break. So these guys got off to the starts that maybe we were, I don't want to say expecting prior to the break, but nonetheless, see what you guys have in the chat in this one. You got a Memphis team that's gone over in 21 of 28 games on the road this season. And I'll go to the chat here right now and see what we got. All right, super true. Wichita there in college action today. Well, these were the winners yesterday, I think, right? Southern Indiana. Good job, super true. And Billy Mack gets us started, and he says Magic are probably going to round back into form here a little bit. They're 16-11 against the spread at home, so that is a little bit of a good roll for them, certainly. A little bit of steam coming in here. Bowling Green and Toledo game under 158. Down here to 157 right now. Bowling Green and Toledo. A little bit of under steam here. We'll give the steam a little bit of time to warm up here for sure. Let's see here. Action Jackson on the Grizzlies. And James Parham liking Memphis here. So is Robert. They are, they are the, certainly the better team right now, spread wise overall as well. But still, you got Orlando at home. They do pretty well, 17-10 straight up at home, but just 5-18 straight up as an underdog. Orlando's just 4-12 against the spread in their last 16 games overall. Memphis kind of owns the advantage in the series with the Magic. They've won 6 of the last 7 games against the Magic, and Memphis has gone 5-2 against the Magic in the last 7 meetings overall. Although Orlando has won 7 of the last 9 home games against the Grizzlies, 7 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Teams met back. Man, the steam is hot. We'll get to those right here in a second. Okay, nothing major from you guys. Doesn't look like any let's see here. Yeah, it doesn't look like any consensus plays from you guys there in the chat. So I'll go ahead and make my selection here. I'll go with the Grizzlies. Kind of want to use that total later on. So let me go with the Grizzlies here as my pick. Andrew G in the chat. Hello. All right. And we'll keep it moving here in the NBA. Let me catch up on this steam going crazy here this morning. That's how we like it. Sacred Heart and Merrimack took the steam just seconds ago on the over in this one. Sacred Heart and Merrimack was at 143. They're up to 144, maybe 144.5. Steam coming in on the over with Sacred Heart and Merrimack. Also, just moments ago, Villanova in their matchup with Marquette, taking the steam here. Villanova was getting 1. Might be down to a pick 'em here right now with Marquette and Villanova today. We're still showing Marquette slight favorite right now, but the steam has come in here on Villanova. We'll see how much more it moves. Reportedly, the steam is on Villanova. It's moving there a little bit, but still Marquette 1.5. I don't see a huge move there. Bowling Green and Toledo, steam to the under there with BG, and Toledo was 158. Oh, we mentioned that one, down to 156.5 here at the Square Books offshore. All right. Let's go to our next matchup in the NBA, the Bucks and the Wizards, with the Bucks on the road here at -7 or so total here. Let's call it 6. Man, this one's on the move for sure in the direction of the Bucks this morning. Let's move it down here. I think mostly 6, maybe even some 5.5s out there right now with the Bucks and the Wizards. Total here 229.5. Obviously, we see with Portis now out and that key suspension there in this one. Maybe this one's on the move to Washington. We know Washington hasn't been very good at all this season, and the Bucks trying to get it together here a little bit. 30-24 right now. Washington's on a losing streak for sure, but they're kind of taking the action here against Milwaukee this morning. Milwaukee just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. uh, overall coming into this one. Milwaukee 17-21 against the spread as a favorite for Washington. They're not a very good underdog. 23-30 against the spread as an underdog. They've started to cover here a little bit of late. This is their first game out of the break. They didn't play yesterday. Milwaukee's won 7 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams, but like I said, the Wizards are the team coming in hot here against the spread anyway, despite the losing streak. They're 6-1 against the spread in their last 7, so they're hanging in there. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over here, and I don't know, it's probably the direction I'm going to look in this one. Let's see if you guys have an opinion here with Milwaukee getting a discount here a little bit. Billy Mack can't do it. Irish King says it's a 2-point move. And good morning to Curtis as well in the chat. All right, I'm going to take the over here as my play in this one between the Bucks and the Wizards. We'll keep moving on here. Hopefully, you guys are betting today. What are we? Maybe we're going to bet on baseball exhibition games. I don't know. How about the Cubs yesterday destroying those Dodgers? Figure the Dodgers are pacing themselves. All right, the Knicks and the Cavs in this one, featured matchup of the night for sure with these two teams in action. You got the Cavs here favored by 8.5, and the total 239.5 after the Cavaliers yesterday pulled away from the Brooklyn Nets. They ended up winning by 13 points. It was right on the spread yesterday. Right now it's 8.5, and the total about 240 or so here in this one with the Knicks and the Cavaliers. Cavaliers are on a big winning streak right now coming into the break, and they scored yesterday, of course, with that push against Brooklyn. Covered 3 in a row, basically. Some people may have been able to lay 12.5 for the most part. I graded it as a push, I think, there yesterday. For the Knicks, they're also on a 3-game winning streak coming in. They did not cover in that game, of course, against the Bulls yesterday, 113-111, as Chicago was able to get the money as a 10.5-point dog there against the Knicks. And we'll see what you guys think in this big matchup here tonight. Great matchup with these two teams. The teams, let's see here what you guys have. Cleveland here, 33-18 against the spread as a favorite. The Knicks have been underdogs just 6 times this season, and they're 2-4 against the spread in that role. But still, high-profile matchup with a pretty big number here. We go to the chat and see what you guys have with the Knicks and the Cavs here tonight. All right, here we go. James Parm on Cleveland here. And Blue says the over in this one. We'll say that this series, it is a hardcore under, actually, between these two teams. You see the total here at 240. Irish King here, Cleveland, first quarter and first half. And Thomas might be swimming right now while he's doing this. Okay, Bill says take the Knicks plus and the over with these back-to-backs. Robert's on the Cavs. So, yeah, 240. And look, I mean, it's understood why you might go over with these two teams. I mean, the Knicks, 5-1 to the over in those 6 games as an underdog. Cleveland, 33-17 to the over as a favorite. But this series is a hardcore under. It is like under every single game, it feels like right now. What is the latest? 9 straight meetings have gone under between these two teams. And why wouldn't it be? Yes, I understand. Knicks and Cavs, they're definitely scoring out of their minds like we haven't seen from the Knicks and Cavs right. We think of the Cavs defensively, but they're always going over, and so are the Knicks. But I think the total's reflective of that, and I'd rather think that in a game with two good teams that are somewhat known for defense, despite these wild trends to the over, Action Jackson sees it as a defensive game as well. Knicks first quarter for blue. Fernando's leaning under. I'll take the under here. I think the Sharps are going to be on the over still, the way I'm looking at it right now. And look, the total was a little bit higher than this, and maybe it's moved lower. It depends what book, I guess. Maybe there hasn't been enough movement for me to even determine it. But I'm going to end up on the over here in this one. I'm going to trust that series history a little bit and go under with the Knicks and the Cavs. All right. Next up, the Heat and the Raptors tonight, with the Heat on the road, favored here at the Raps. I don't know if I'm ready for that necessarily right now. Look, I'm the one saying that, hey, the Heat will get better. They're the type of team that you want to roll with once they regroup a little bit and move on past the drama of before, but it's not working out yet. They're not looking that great the last few games for sure. Just 0-4, lost 4 straight, 0-3-1 against the spread going into the break. Toronto hasn't been great either, but they have been getting some covers despite some losses. They did beat Philly. They covered against Houston as a dog, and they covered against OKC as a dog. So the Raptors might be playing a little bit better than the Heat at this point, even if I expect the Heat to clean this up a little bit. They've beaten the Raptors in 4 out of the last 5 meetings between the two teams, but Toronto's gone 4-1 against the spread against the Heat in the last 5 meetings in Toronto between these two teams. Teams met back in December in Miami. Miami won, but didn't cover. They won by 10. They were favored by 11.5. They also met a couple weeks before that at Toronto, and Toronto won as a home dog, 119-116, getting 5 points. I'm going to take Toronto based on that and other factors as well. But Mitch Robb, questionable. Josh Hart, questionable. OG, questionable for the Knicks. Oh, I was trying to let me get the right injuries up here because they're more significant in this game. There we go. For the Heat, okay. Hero probable, Bam probable, Kevin Love out of this game, Rozier probable, and Wiggins probable as well. Jakob Poeltl out for Toronto. There we go. All right, let's see if you guys got something here with this one between the Heat and the Raptors. Here we go with the chat. And it's going to be Irish King on the Raptors here. Oh, I missed one. Let me go back to this. Action Jackson Raptors. Blue Raptors. Lots of Raptors here. All right. And Robert McCormick on the Raptors. Everyone's on the Raptors. So was I, right? Consensus play. There we go. We're off and running. Blue on the Raptors. Raptors big time here. Action Jackson first quarter on the Raptors. Blue play of the day, first quarter Raptors. Wow. That's overwhelming. That's consensus. All right, next up, NBA. Pistons and Spurs. Here with the Pistons, a 4.5-point favorite, and the total 232.5. Is that right? It's up to 234.5 at DraftKings right now. This one's on the move higher for sure with the Pistons and the Spurs tonight. And yeah, bummer news right there we got yesterday. Of course, with the Wemby, we were on the air there, right, when we got that news. And you know, so what it is, right? When you have that deep vein thrombosis, it's not like, hey, it hurts, I can't lift my arm and get rebounds or block shots or shoot jump hooks or anything like that. It's, I have this problem and I've got to take these blood thinners and I can't go play basketball bumping my body around. That sucks. That's not the kind of injury you want to have. And I think that's why, when you think about what he has, it's more of a, I don't want to say internal injury. I guess they're all internal injuries there, right? But um, more of a, yeah, it's just a bummer. uh, want to say like a a joint injury, right? It's because like you're related to your AC joint or something like that is what it is, but it affects everything in there, and you got to take this medication that makes it so that you bruise easy. I think is what it comes down to. So really a bummer here. Detroit comes in pretty hot, no doubt about it. Now, uh, they come in riding a 4-game winning streak here into this one out of the break. They're looking pretty good for sure. They're covering numbers. They're 17-10 against the spread on the road. They're not a great favorite, that's for sure, but the Spurs have not been really that profitable either. But they are coming in off of the nice win yesterday at home, or in Austin anyway, against the Phoenix Suns 120-109. They easily got that money. Phoenix kind of mounted a little bit of a charge there, but it was going to be Spurs all the way here. And you'll mention it, this one also at the Moody Center. I made it all about Kevin Durant yesterday, and it wasn't a specifically made game. This is rodeo week, of course, in San Antonio, so they're playing a couple games here at Austin rather than send them out on the road for a few weeks. So this one also will be played at the Moody Center tonight against the Pistons. It didn't bother the Spurs yesterday, obviously. However, even though KD may have been a little bit of a fan favorite with some of those Longhorns fans. All right, so let's take a look here with what you guys might do in this one between the Pistons and the Spurs. This one moving, like I said, moving higher here. I want to update this total. I'll call it 234, but it might be going even higher here, it feels like, in this one. Spurs are 29-23 to the over this season. Here we go. And we've got Blue is on the Pistons here. Billy Mack says Pistons first half. And good morning to Sports Money. Have a great time tonight, you guys. I can't wait. It's going to be really cool tonight. All right, let's see here. Fernando, team total under here for the Spurs. I think Thomas said he ended up on the Spurs there yesterday. I wanted to play. I played the Suns here on the show. All right, that might be it from you guys here in this one with Detroit and San Antonio. So I'll make my call then, I guess, in this one. San Antonio's gone over in 12 of their last 16 games right now. And without that rim protect, now granted, went under yesterday, so maybe the adjustments will yet to be seen, but I'm going to have to go over in this one with Detroit and San Antonio tonight. All right. San Antonio's gone over in 5 of their last 7 games at home as well. So they've been trending over a little bit now. Granted, maybe some of it is Wemby related offensively, but nonetheless, Suns got the best of them tonight. We'll just have to analyze moving forward how it's going to affect the Spurs. Their playoff chances were already diminishing for sure. They weren't playing that great heading in. So yeah, we just hope that Wemby will be okay. You guys are right in the chat there. All right. Let's move on here now with our next matchup with the Pelicans taking on those Mavericks. Um, I believe the storyline with the Mavericks is how well they're playing since the trade. And if you saw the way Luka looked, maybe the Mavericks will get the best of this deal. Now, the problem here is the trade hasn't worked out necessarily for the Mavericks, considering, what the deal is with uh, the results of the trade with Anthony Davis, and we'll see moving forward. But nonetheless, Luka did not look great. All right, Pelicans here. DeJounte Murray, we know he's out for the season here. Herb Jones out for the season as well. So these injuries have continued to pile up here right now. And now Missy is questionable here tonight. So for the Mavs, Powell is doubtful here. Clay, probable. And of course, they've lost Gafford here. So see what we're going to do here in this one with the Pelicans taking on the Mavericks tonight in Dallas. Dallas, a favorite here by 5.5, 238.5, down to 237.5 right now in this one. New Orleans just in a real bad way right now, having lost 10 of their last 11 games. The win, of course, was last night against the Sacramento Kings, 140 to 133, or their last game anyway, not last night, but 140 to 133 over Sacramento. And Dallas here comes in off of a winning streak here for sure, 2 games in a row, but they've been covering every game pretty much since that trade. So who's laughing now? And maybe it will work out for Dallas in the long run. They've covered 6 straight overall. So see what we have with you guys in the chat in this one. These two teams definitely trend to the over when facing off against one another. That total's already going higher, higher, higher. Was maybe as low as 235 or so, and now we're up to 238.5, 237.5 at some of the sharp books at this point. But these two teams go over. Obviously, it's a little bit of a new look, so we'll see. Go to the chat here. Get plays from you guys. 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone over. The teams met back in late January. It was 137-136 in favor of Dallas. That game ended up as a push. It was about a 1-point spread. And they also met a couple weeks earlier, 119-116. That one was in New Orleans. New Orleans got the win and the cover as a 1-point favorite. They also met back in November, and Dallas put up 132 on them in a blowout victory here in Dallas, 132-91. So the Pelicans just didn't do their part on their end in that game. Although it did go well over, the total was only 222 on that night, 222.5. All right. And let's see here. Daddy Beats, good morning. Hello. Lay it with the Mavs, says Billy. And Blue, I think, likes the over. There's Action Jackson talking about that. Thank you, Action Jackson. I couldn't describe what the shoulder injury was. It was an abductor. Yeah, that's abdominal. We know the problems that Davis has been having. His other problems notwithstanding. Okay, let's see your Cash Cane. Hello. Likes the under here. Robert likes the Mavs. Fernando likes the Mavs. You guys are on the Mavs. Consensus play on the Mavs. I'll join you. Why not? Give them to me. I'll take the Mavs here as well. look, I think, it doesn't take me to convince you, right? We still can call it the worst trade ever, but chemistry wise, whatever's happening, whatever happens for gamblers, right? We just want these teams to cover. Now they have to win and cover, and that hasn't been always. The Mavs, remember, they've been winning these games, but they've been underdogs in them. And if you go back to the spread this season, the Mavs have been a better underdog than a favorite, I believe. But New Orleans 8-19 against the spread on the road this season, so they've been bad. So let's take them. I'll take them. Put them in there. Consensus play with New Orleans and Dallas. I'm with the chat for sure. All right. Next up, Timberwolves and Rockets. Here in this one, you got the Rockets favored by 218.5. I've seen a little bit of move here, it feels like right now. The Rockets moving there by half a point, and the total, another one moving up here. Even with this being the low total of the day here with the Timberwolves and the Rockets. All right, T-Wolves, their first appearance out of the break today, and for the Rockets as well. Minnesota has won 6 of the last 7 meetings here in Houston. It's always been a pretty good trip of late for the Timberwolves. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over when these teams have squared off. Minnesota's won 12 of the last 14 meetings overall between these two teams as well. Houston has been going under a little bit at home here for sure, but right now Minnesota is probably the better cover overall. They are 8-4 against the spread as an underdog. Meanwhile, Houston just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games. Does feel like the Sharps are still going to want to back Houston here, but this is a division game, and Minnesota's gotten the best of this team for the most part. All right, see if you guys have anything here in the chat with this one. And
Steam play.
Action Jackson's on the over, Irish King's on the over. Maybe that series history does help a little bit here in the, right now. But Action Jackson said the total's gone over in 3 straight meetings between these two teams. They met back just 15 days ago, 127, 114. Minnesota won it at home as a 1-point favorite. And Minnesota won back in December, 113 to 112 as a 1-point dog. And the first meeting was 117 to 111. The total was 220 in that one. So it's gone 3 meetings this season already, 3 overs. All right, I'm down. Irish King says Minnesota here. I will take the over. It's not all about that series history, but I'm going to go over here. I think the Sharps are still I think they might prefer the under here in this one, but I'm going to go over with Minnesota and Houston here tonight. James Farm liking it over. Good morning to Sub. Sub, be ready if you want tonight. We're going to try to see what we can do here. We're not 100% on this, but I believe at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time, at 8 Eastern, maybe we can get together to watch that fight, at least on YouTube with the audience. All right, Sharon says take Houston first half here. Robert was on Houston. Irish King was on Minnesota. I think I covered those a little bit. Thank you, guys. And I'll take the over in this one with Minnesota and Houston tonight. All right, and we've got a couple more here in the NBA. Thunder and Jazz. In this one, we've got the Thunder big favorite here against the Jazz. 15 and 236.5. Probably down to 14.5 in a lot of spots right now. Maybe the big books, the square books, are hanging on to 15 right now in this one between OKC and Utah. OKC still a covering machine as a favorite, 31-18 against the spread on the road. How high can these spreads go? The Jazz actually took the steam here in this matchup already, so that's still a pretty big number in the Utah team that they've covered their last two games before the break, and as long as they've got their guys in there, it feels like they have a big chance to get those numbers. You got Kessler, probable, Clarkson, probable, Markkinen in. So, it does feel now. Sexton is out still, so with the ankle turn for the Thunder here, pretty good injury report. Got a couple guys probable, Caruso and Uzumane Day. So it does feel a little bit stiff on this number, no matter how you look at it. As good as the Thunder have been, is this one that they can motivate their way through a lopsided victory here, it feels like, in this one. Let's go to the chat, see what you have here. Thunder and the Jazz tonight. Utah has gone over in 5 straight games right now, and they've covered 5 straight games at home. Oklahoma City's won 8 of the last 9 meetings, but that's not the question. All right, here we go with Blues ready to go with college ball. We still got a few NBA here. Jazz for Blue, Jazz for Robert McCormick, Jazz for Utah. Good morning to Joe T in the chat. And Fernando's on the under. Thomas says, what is he saying here? Utah Jazz plus. Team, is that a consensus there maybe with the Jazz? Action Jackson says got Collins for a double-double. All right, hey, I'll throw my hat in the ring here maybe with the covering machine that is Utah. I say covering machine. I mean, Oklahoma City is a covering machine, guys, but all right. Jazz for Johnny Walker. Everybody's on the Jazz here. All right, I'll take him. He's pretty overwhelming. Steam came in on the Jazz, so I'll take him here. All right, next up, last one, Warriors and Kings in this matchup. With the Warriors on the road here, favored by 2.5. Look at this total, 237 now. All these totals moving higher. We'll call it 236. I do see some 237. Looks mostly like 236 here right now. But nonetheless, it is on the move higher here with Golden State and Sacramento. Golden State has covered 5 of the last 6 meetings here in Sacramento. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over. The widely reported steam has come in on the over as well here in this one. You've got, two teams that, seem to be going over here a little bit of late. It's Sacramento that's 10-4 to the over as an underdog this season. Crazy to think they've only been underdogs 14 times out of 54 games, especially given the fact that they're just a 500 club. Warriors here, 15-12 against the spread on the road. Sacramento's actually won the last 5 meetings between these two teams. Sacramento's won 8 of their last 9 games at home overall right now. They've been taking care of business, even though maybe the strength of schedule has been a little bit weak there on these home games of late. They're winning like nobody's business. I'm going to take the over in this one here. I kind of like side and total, but the move has already happened there, a couple of points. It's going to be tough to get this total, but I got to think it's going over here as my play in this one. Oh, let me go to the chat. I didn't even consider there yet. Sacramento's gone over in 6 of their last 7 games at home. All right. Warriors for Cash King, Irish King. Warriors. First half full game. Bobby Max on the Warriors as well. Wow. A lot of Warriors support here. And I mean, don't want to bury the lead here with Jimmy Buckets. I guess, it all works out. You bring a good chemistry guy in like Jimmy Butler, and he'll be able to turn it around here for the Warriors against the Kings. We'll see. Warriors are the better cover. I don't want to be too hard uh, on the on Butler and the move here. The Warriors. I mean, Sacramento's a terrible cover. We know that. 8-16 against the spread at home for Sacramento this season. And Thomas says that is the number 4 consensus there. So it's been Toronto, Dallas, the Jazz. That's the Jazz were an obvious consensus. I think there's what you're saying, and the uh, Warriors here a consensus. Okay, all right. I don't know if I might look. I'm on board with all those others. I don't know about this one, you guys. All right, but I gotta respect it here. Blue's got a lot of overs. I hate, it's a tough position to be in, Blue. Let me tell you. But I think I'm on some overs here as well. I only went with one under. Or goodness. All right, we have some college basketball theme coming in right now. We're going to get to those games here, give some picks out. Michigan and Michigan State is being steamed here right now to the under. This is the big game of the night, the big game of the season in the Big Ten. It feels like with Michigan State tonight. We're going to preview it in just a moment, but we got to talk about this steam coming in right now on the under. Was 152.5 going down all the way probably to 151.5 or lower here in the big game in the Big Ten of the season tonight. We're down to 150. 150 now at some books. 2-point move here right now with Michigan and Michigan State. Friday night, Big Ten, big game. Also, one that came in while we were covering NBA, Cleveland State and Detroit. Steam to the over here in this one. This is a series that definitely goes over Cleveland State and Detroit. It was 135, but it's up to 130, 137, 137.5 right now at Bet Online. So that one was on the move here. Cleveland State and Detroit move to the over. Steam coming in. All right, let's move to the college ranks. Take a look at a handful of games here. There go 7 or 8 of them. And let's take a look. First up, with Dayton here against Loyola Chicago. Dayton favored here by 1.5. And the total here 141. There's some twos out there as well. As Dayton favored here. Dayton comes in 18-8, 8-5 in conference play. Loyola also 8-5 in conference play. They're 17-9. So pretty good game here. I think Dayton probably the higher rated team, but their records are identical. Loyola's won 5 of their last 6 games overall, but Dayton has won 7 of their last 9 games overall. Loyola here, let's see, they are pardon me here, lost my place. Here we go. Dayton beat Loyola in overtime 83-81 back on January 18th. That game went overtime. Uh, Loyola was just 9 of 14 from the foul line in that game. Loyola has lost 3 of the last 4 meetings against Dayton coming into this one. This one's on ESPN2 tonight. Dayton has won 2 in a row. Loyola's won 3 in a row coming in, covered them all against Davidson, against St. Louis, and against Richmond. For Dayton, they've won 2 straight, but they failed last time out against Duquesne. All right, see if you guys like this one here. Let me set myself up, go to the chat, and see what you got. If anything here. Hello to Ron Young today. And let's see here. Blue says Dayton. AOD, hello. Thank you for being here. Super True on Loyola. And got a few more here, it looks like. Robert likes the over. All right. I'm going to take Dayton in this one. I might be a little bit, see you guys taking Loyola for the most part. Terrell says Loyola does score at home, no doubt. Give me the over here. Yeah, but it's Dayton that goes over a lot too. So if you like them scoring at home, I mean, look at Dayton. They're uh, 13-6 to the over as a favorite. Loyola 5-3 to the over as a dog. But man, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Dayton here. I think that total might be a bit high. Oh, this game's tough. Blue likes the over though too. Okay, give me Dayton. I can't help it. I can't help it when it comes to these two teams. Loyola is 13-1 straight up at home this season. So it's going to be tough. I'm taking Dayton though. Maybe I'm just old school here. I don't know. Loyola, the Ramblers are great too. All right. Next up, go to the Ivies here. I'm going to try to pick the Ivy game that maybe means the most tonight, given the scenario. So the thing about the Ivy League, right, in their conference tournament, only the top 4 teams make the conference tournament in the Ivy League. Yale's 9-0; they're going to win the Ivy League. But right now, you've got Princeton in third, tied for third at a 5-4 record. Harvard is 4-5. Now Harvard's an underdog, so maybe, just maybe, Mira Andreeva's throwing a fit out here. So, maybe, just maybe, they could get the upset win. Princeton is favored here by 8, total 139. But to me, this might have the, biggest impact for the conference tournament right now. So I thought I'd take a look at this one here with Harvard and Princeton. Princeton favored by 7.5, maybe 139.5 is maybe where we're moving to here. Princeton has lost 2 straight coming into this one. They've been dreadful against the spread here of late, just 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 games. Princeton just 3-8 against the spread at home. Harvard hasn't been much better. That's for sure. At least they're covering here a little bit more of late. Uh, are the Crimson. Harvard won and covered in each of their last 2 games. They beat Columbia 87-75 at home, covered the spread. They beat Cornell 75-73 as a home dog. A little bit of steam coming in right now on the matchup tonight with Oklahoma City and Utah. You guys are talking about these overs. Oklahoma City and Utah steam to the over right now. It was 236. We're up to 237 right now. Steam coming in. Thunder and Jazz. All right. Harvard and Princeton here. Let's see if you got a play in this one. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Princeton has long beat Harvard for years. They've won 5 straight meetings overall. Here we go with Blue likes the Yale game to go over. Appreciate that. The matchup with Cornell tonight. Cash Kane likes Princeton. Robert with the under here in this one. Blue likes Harvard. Harvard feels like the better cover overall. Princeton's just bad at covering numbers. We know that. Harvard's played a couple of decent games here of late. So I'm going to take those points with Harvard here. Give them a chance. They need this one bad. They both need it. This is a good opportunity here for Princeton. If you look at these two teams totals wise, you'd have to think under. Harvard's gone under in 7 of their last 9 games on the road. Already mentioned that season series going under. Princeton is 6-12 to the under as a favorite. And Harvard overall on the road, I mentioned the 2-7 run here to the under. So, all right. Pick another one here. How about we go to the horizon? Go to the horizon with Oakland and Fort Wayne. Here in this one, you've got the Golden Grizzlies on the road, a 3.5-point dog here. They come in 12-15. Fort Wayne comes in 18-10 right now in conference play. And the total only 149. What is going to be a defensive struggle here in the Horizon League tonight? Everybody loves these overs right now. It feels like in Horizon League play. And with Fort Wayne, why not? They are 13-6 to the over as a favorite and 8-4 to the over at home. Oakland is one of the few teams that seems to trend under just a little bit here, but they have gone over in 4 straight. 90, they beat Detroit 93-83 last time out as a 12.5-point dog. So see what you got in this one with Oakland and Fort Wayne here. Take a look at the conference standings, by the way. Fort Wayne, they're still in this crazy Horizon League. They're 11-6 right now. Here, still a game and a half back. Cleveland State 12-4. Robert Morris 12-5. Youngstown 12-5. Thomas, Milwaukee 11-5, and Fort Wayne 11-6. Wow, crazy finish here. In the horizon, you got Jalen Jackson and Fort Wayne here in this one. You got Mukeba with Detroit. All right, go to the chat here. I guess I know what I'm already doing here, right? Yeah, Blue and I are like a consensus team here today. It feels like. All right, we're going to take a look at the chat here. Not much. Robert McCormick is on Oakland, but Blue is on Fort Wayne here. All right. I'll just go with the over here in this one. The Steam came in on the over. Now, like I said, what I got 149 there, but it's actually 153, you guys. So that's why it's my free play. I probably like the side here, but hopefully that's okay. That I'm pivoting here. I was going to go premium on that. 153 now. Should have caught that right away. Man, 4-point move there. Oakland and Fort Wayne. Yeah, I'm trying to will it. I'm trying to will it back down. It's not going to happen. So give me the over here. Uh, you know what? I should have known better, right? Horizon. All the totals are going to be moving in the Horizon League. It feels like, right? Cleveland State, Detroit went from 135 to 137. Everyone's onto this no defense league right now. All right. Here's another good one, at least with Marquette and Villanova. Oh, man, I've gone out of order totally here, haven't I? Sorry about that, gang. But we got to talk about this one with Marquette and Villanova here. We've got to put some of these big games in here anyway. For Marquette here, 1.5 point favorite, total 142.5 for the most part. Marquette has won two straight. They covered in the last one, bombing Seton Hall, 80-56. Villanova lost two straight, although they did cover last time out against Connecticut, getting 8.5 points. Villanova is 10-7 against the spread at home this season. Marquette, they haven't been a great cover necessarily, but take a look at some of the trends, at least for these two. Since I'm out of order now and I've blown it. Or did they move this one? They didn't move this one to 8 Eastern, did they? No. Okay. All right. No problem. Here we go. So Villanova's won 11 of the last 14 meetings between these two teams at Villanova. The widely reported steam here came in on Villanova in this one. Villanova's won 10 of their last 12 games at home. The two teams already met back on January 24th. Marquette won. Marquette. We say Villanova has won 11 of the last 14 games at home, but Marquette's been dominating the series overall of late. They've covered 5 straight meetings against Villanova. So Villanova long term, Marquette short term is what it feels like. Villanova 11-5 to the over at home, but Marquette 2-8 to the under on the road. Does feel like, though, a little bit these Villanova home games tend to be a little bit lower scoring right now. Go to the chat here, see if you guys can help me out. Marquette and Villanova with a lot of Marquette. I can already see it coming. Terrell was commenting on Oakland back there. Where's the Marquette play? Here we go. Blues on Marquette. Thomas is on Marquette. Action Jackson Marquette. Robert McCormick Marquette. Everybody Marquette. Cash Kane Villanova, however. And Thomas says this one's at the Wells Fargo Center. Cash Kane says Nova is hot right now. Well, yeah, they lost though two straight. Now they did cover that last one, like I said, against Connecticut. They did lose to Providence before that. And Thomas says Marquette's a consensus play. All right, I'll take him with you. Give me Marquette. I'll roll with the consensus here a little bit. Look, Villanova's pretty, still kind of tough at home, 12-3 overall, but they're a dog in this game, and they're 3-6 straight up as a dog. So Super True likes the over here. I'll roll with the consensus again. Trust my team. Trust the team. Trust the morning steam team. All right, Andrew likes this Marquette club. Blue says Nova's not hot. They're cold. All right. Yeah, no, I just think right now some of these Villanova games maybe a little bit more low scoring right now. Marquette 2-8 to the under on the road. I'll just stick with the consensus. So I might have a premium on the total in this one. I'll leave it at that. Okay, let's go to. Hey, gotta go with the Germain games here in the mid-major action for sure. Let's get out to Sacred Heart and Merrimack as we go to the MAAC tonight for what I would think might be the best game for sure. We got to keep an eye on this because Merrimack is just a game and a half out of first place, or a game out of first place, actually. They're a half a game behind Marist. So right now, Merrimack still in pretty good position going up against Sacred Heart here. Sacred Heart 7-7 in conference. Merrimack with conference player of the year leading candidate Adam Clark favored in this one by 6.5, 143.5 here right now in this matchup. We'll see if you guys have any interest in this one in the double MAAC tonight with Sacred Heart taking on Merrimack. Both teams have lost a couple of games in a row coming in. Merrimack just 3-7 against the spread at home. Sacred Heart, they've covered a few games as underdogs, although they've lost and failed in two straight. They did have wins over Fairfield, Ryder, and Manhattan, but have dropped the last two games. Merrimack also has dropped the last two games, losing to Marist and Manhattan as favorites. These two teams did meet back on January 10th. It was 66-65. Merrimack won, but they were a 2.5-point favorite, did not cover in that one. So see what you have here in this one. The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game while we were on the air here, right? Just about an hour ago. So see what you got here in this one. Sacred Heart and Merrimack. As I thought it was maybe the most significant game in the conference play here tonight. All right. Blues on Merrimack. Thomas says, how about Merrimack on the money line in this one? And Robert is on Sacred Heart. All right. And I'm on the under myself. I'll take the under here with Sacred Heart and Merrimack. And I see Mira Andreeva has just won her match. All right, a couple more here in college ball tonight. We got to go to the big one between Michigan State and Michigan. This one will start right when we're going to have that fight, it feels like tonight. But we definitely got to give this game the big time attention here. You've got Michigan in first place, 12-2 in the Big Ten. Michigan State 12-3, just a half a game back on the road here, getting the points. Michigan, a 3-point favorite, maybe 2.5 right now. This total has dropped for sure to 150.5 here today. Call it 2.5, 150.5. There we go. Michigan comes in super hot here right now on this long winning streak. Although they were not covering, they were favored by too many points in several of those games, but that didn't matter. They were still winning. And now here they're favored by a more reasonable number, I guess you could say. Michigan has covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams in Ann Arbor. Teams have not met yet, though, so far this season. Michigan State just 1-4 against the spread as an underdog. They're 9-17 against the spread overall. On the road, they are 4-4 against the spread. I only mention that because they're so dismal against the spread at home. Michigan, meanwhile, they are 14-11 against the spread. 12-0 straight up at home this season for Michigan. They have not lost. All right, Michigan State 9-17 to the under this season. Let me make sure I got that number right. Yeah, sorry about that. Um, Let me correct this. Michigan State 4-2 straight up on the road this season. I think I may have quoted some of these numbers wrong. 5-2-1 against the spread on the road for Michigan State. So sorry about that, fam. Michigan State, in other words, Michigan State has been the better cover. We know that this season, but still, Michigan at home, very tough to beat. Let me just go to the chat now that I've screwed this one up big time. Robert is on Sparty here. Okay. Cash Kane says Michigan State to win, and maybe it will go overtime tonight. The widely reported steam did come in on the under, but 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams here in Ann Arbor have gone over. All right. I'm on the Michigan Wolverines here tonight against Michigan State. I'll lay it at 2.5. I agree. Maybe this one is going to go down to the wire, but I got to make a play here on this game, and I might like the total. So I like, Michigan at home. They are tough to beat no matter what. What a game tonight this is going to be. Man, you got Michigan here. Let's see. 3-0, Michigan State 3-0 against the spread as Big Ten road underdogs. I guess that's even more significant than the 5-2-1 spread against the spread on the road. And Michigan is 6-0 straight up, of course, at home in conference play, but 1-5 against the spread. So maybe it'll be a 1 or 2 point game, but I'll end up taking Michigan here. Andrew's ready for it. Thomas says game of the night. So you have two teams that are definitely top 30 defensive teams. So I can see why this total is probably moving lower. The steam came in on the under. Michigan State's been the under team. That's what I intended to say. 1-4 to the under is a dog. 9-17 to the under. Overall, Michigan does trend a little over. Okay. Great one there. One more here, and then we're done. We'll get the contest ready. We'll get the drawing ready. Maybe I got a couple more here. We got to go to the MAC. We got to go to Kent State and Miami of Ohio. I felt like this was the most significant game in the MAC tonight. We know the conference season is over with Akron crushing it, but Miami's 10-3. Kent State is 8-5 coming in, as Van Cameron Davis and the Golden Flashes come in here on this winning streak right now, looking pretty strong. Is Kent State here, and they're just a pick 'em right now. Kent coming in off of a win over Bowling Green, laying 5.5. They did get the cover in that one. Kent State 8-2-1 against the spread on the road this season, but Miami's 7-3-1 against the spread at home. Right now, Miami's actually moved to the favorite here, by 1.5. There we go. So there we go. That probably should be a little bit significant, it feels like, for this matchup. Kent State's covered 5 of their last 6 games on the road, but Miami has won 5 straight at home. They're 12-1 straight up at home this season, and Kent is 1-3 straight up as an underdog coming into this game. 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Kent State is 1-10 to the under on the road this season, and dating back to last year, they've gone under in 14 of their last 15 games away from home. I got to go under here with Kent State and Miami of Ohio at 143. The teams met at Kent 70-61. Miami 0-1 and covered as a 5.5 point dog back in January, and that one went under by 10 points. So give me the under here in this one with Kent State and Miami tonight. All right, Thomas is on Kent State and Big Worms here. Yeah, we talked about the Dayton game to go off. I'm on Dayton Big Worm. It feels like everyone else. It feels like most were on Loyola. I'm not by the minority there. Blues on Kent State. Roberts on the over here. All right, one more here. We're gonna go. If we know Thomas is saying, we got to go right to keep it in the heartland here with Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and Youngstown. You better believe it, Thomas. Youngstown here, 1.5 point favorite, total 152.5. This one's going higher. This one's going higher, right? Well, of course it is. Oops, there we go. There we go. 1.5, 152.5 here. Youngstown, 18-10. Milwaukee, 18-9 here. So pretty hot matchup here, it feels like tonight in our Horizon feature. Youngstown 12-5 in conference play. Milwaukee 11-5 in conference play. Youngstown on a 4-game winning streak here, coming in, covering them all against Cleveland, against Fort Wayne, against Detroit, and against Oakland. It's been a good run here for this Youngstown team, right? That's what they are. That's what the Penguins have been. They've been a team this season, it feels like. The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. And, they're not totally over teams necessarily. I mean, Youngstown's 5-11 to the under as a favorite. Milwaukee's 4-9 to the under on the road. But got to respect the steam here, it feels like, in this matchup. All right. Seven of the last. Let's see. 7 of the last 9 games for Wisconsin, Milwaukee on the road have gone over. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Youngstown has won 7 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams and covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings overall between these two. Teams met back on January 17th, and it was 79-64 in favor of Milwaukee as a 6-point favorite at home, and they got the money in that one. Can Youngstown turn the tables here? All right. Thomas he might be ready to go with Youngstown. He might be homering it up, or he just might have a pick here. Thomas says we usually lose there, but we can get it back tonight. Cash Kane says Youngstown. Bobby Mack on Milwaukee. I'm going with Youngstown. I'm not going to preview Thomas's big game here of the season without taking Youngstown. I might like the over. I might like the total. Here's a premium a little bit, but no, I'll take Youngstown. Come on. The Milwaukee's 2-5 straight up on the 2-5 straight up as an underdog this season. Youngstown at home here usually gets this one. They always beat Milwaukee at home. All right. Blues on Milwaukee, though, too. I might be homering it up with Thomas. Obviously, it's going to be a tightly contested game and a good game. So, all right. I guess that's it for the morning steam show. Let's get ready for a great day. It's going to be a cool day here for sure as we get ready tonight for our coverage. We're going to do something. We're going to be here for sure, at least talking about it or whatever, even if we have the stream on or not, at approximately 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. We're going to just try to time it, probably come on right before Kevin Carrier goes into the ring. Mike and Jeff will be there on site. I'm going to try to hook up with those guys on the broadcast for at least if we can just see their faces. We don't need to hear them. We don't want to interview them. We don't want to hear from Mike and Jeff. We know how it's going to go tonight. They'll be, remember they're meeting with these guys and really showing their support. So, but even if we could just get them on screen watching the action or something, we know we can't show it live from there. We could probably show it with the stream. We'll see. But please join me tonight. I'm going to be trying to hook up with Sub. Just going to do that fight. We're not going to disrespect our man Kevin. This is a coverage about Kevin Carrier in his fourth professional fight, second fight in the LFA tonight. He's a $7 favorite tonight against his opponent in the LFA event from Niagara Falls, and we're going to have a good time showing it tonight. There'll be some other games going on, but we're really just going to come on, do that backing Carrier, watching him get that win, and that's going to be it for us. So please join us for that special event tonight. We will not have pre-gaming today. They're going to Buffalo. Those guys are going up to Niagara Falls for those fights tonight. So no pre-gaming tonight, but just join me there at about approximately 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Be ready a little bit before that in case it's a fast card or something. But I believe since that main event or the main card, they told me starts at 9 p.m. Eastern, and apparently that might be the last fight of the undercard. So just give it a little bit of time there. I think 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific sounds like a pretty safe window tonight. So please join us for that. Also, join us for UFC coverage tomorrow from UFC Seattle. We have our companion coverage for the fight night, Cerudo versus Yadong from the Climate Pledge Arena. We already have our programming ready, including First Strike previews from the guys from Fanatical Jim, from Sub, from Mike, from Jeff, their best plays, and I've got my show with VB MMA Picks previewing the card with George Gennaro, the mayor of Narrative Nation, and VB MMA Picks is brought to you by SX.bet, the world's largest blockchain betting exchange. All right, don't forget, get my best plays today over at winnable.com/Ramon. I'll have my picks for college basketball, NBA, as well as UFC. We have that card put out there early morning, late night tonight, early morning for UFC Seattle. My picks with not only who's going to win, but what round and what method I think will happen in those events. So join me over at winnable.com. Click the QR code in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. This is how you support me here on the channel. This is my job. So this is a user-supported channel. So this is how you support me. If you subscribe to my monthly picks, it's just 50 cents a day when you use the promo code STEAM. All right, let's get ready for the drawing right now. We got a pretty big parlay, I guess, right? And let's see here. All right, get it going right now with our drawing here. A few more comments here, you guys. Thank you so much in the chat. Let me say thank you to everybody. Oh boy, having some. I hope I'm on here. I'm dragging a little bit. Billy Siegfried, hello. Thank you, Curtis. Hello, and thank you as well. Thomas has got the plays up here. Sub, see you tonight. Thank you. All right, here we go with our drawing. If I can figure out what I'm doing here. All right. Oh, jeez. All right, here we go. The drawing's underway there. Big Worm, Trey Berry, Cash Kane, Billy, Blue, Terrell, Thomas, and Blue. Da-do-dee-da-do-die, all right, Blue wins tonight. There he's got the 5-teamer, Toronto Raptors spread, Dallas Mavericks, Utah, Golden State, and Marquette at the Wells Fargo Center. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the show. We're going to have a fun tonight. So join us then, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, here for our coverage tonight of that LFA fight. I think we might have something special planned here. I don't know how it's going to go, but we're going to wing it a little bit, but it'll be awesome. We're going to cover our fighter here tonight. Remember, he's a $7 favorite. So Sub was telling me he was going to look. We'll have a little bit of a betting preview of the fight for sure. Carrier's fight does not have a total on it right now like some of the other fights on this card do. So maybe because it's $7 favorite, we'll see if we get that total out there. Maybe he can get a finish early on. So, all right. Thanks, you guys. Thank you, Billy. Good to see you in there. He might be behind us a little bit, but it's good to see Billy tonight. And Robert's ready to go. You know what, Robert? I got to tell you. I am also fired up for MLS starting. I'm looking forward to seeing my hometown add another professional team. San Diego FC will be making its debut in MLS. So I'm really excited. Even though I'm here in Las Vegas, I still root for my home teams, and we don't have any home teams anymore in San Diego. We don't do pro sports real well there. So we do have a new MLS team playing in a relatively new stadium. So we'll see how that goes. Pretty stoked about seeing San Diego mentioned with all the great cities in Major League Soccer. So, and I don't know, we've got Lozano. Maybe they can win some games. We'll see. I know it's real tough for expansion teams, it feels like, but all right. Thanks, everybody. Just looking through these chat messages there. That's it. All right. That's going to do it for the morning's team. Join me back here in about 9 hours or so. I think I'm going to round up Sub, and we're going to at least sit here and watch Kevin Carrier and support him here on the channel. We just want to make a little nice video. I want everybody, come in with some really positive comments in the chat there, rooting this man on. Again, we're not just picking some random fighter saying, hey, this guy's undefeated. Let's get on him now before. This is Mike and Jeff were looking to explore opportunities, met this nice family, young career. I say young, he's 32 years old. He knows he's got to go now. And LFA, that's a stepping stone. That is a real stepping stone to the UFC because it's a UFC-owned entity. So join us here tonight for that. All right, everybody. Really appreciate it. Join me here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, with more Morning Steam. And for the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
Can't escape from the team, call the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.